Hi all, my name's Tom Boudreau, and I am doing this presentation for Anatomy 2114 for the lab, and we're going to talk about the anatomy of the heart and the great vessels. We're also going to follow a red blood cell through the process of going through the heart, being deoxygenated through the veins, and we're going to process it through the heart and send it out to the rest of the body through the normal process of oxygenation for the blood. So let's go over to the drawing here, and these are the lungs right here. This would be the right lung, this would be the left lung. This would also be the parts of the heart, which would be the right atrium, the right ventricle, the left atrium, and the left ventricle. The areas in blue focus on deoxygenated blood. That's the flow of deoxygenated blood. Deoxygenated blood flows to the heart, and except for in two cases, right? But we'll talk about that in a minute. The oxygenated blood goes back into the heart and gets pumped out through the rest of the body. So knowing these are the lungs and this is the heart, we also have the superior vena cava here, which is the main vein in the body, and then we have the inferior vena cava. The superior vena cava brings venous blood, deoxygenated blood, back into the heart, and so does the inferior vena cava. It brings blood, deoxygenated blood, back into the heart, and the first entrance is into the right atrium. Now the right atrium fills up, and then the tricuspid valve opens up and enters into the right ventricle. As the right ventricle squeezes, the blood gets moved into the pulmonary valve and leaves the pulmonary valve into the right and left pulmonary arteries. The arteries leave and then go into the lungs. Where they get oxygenated, and then it goes back into the heart via the right pulmonary veins or the left pulmonary veins. Also, the right corpuscles, these little dots here, would be the red blood cells that are deoxygenated. Once they're oxygenated and leave the lungs and go back into the heart, they enter into the left atrium, and they enter in through the mitral or bicuspid valve. And through the mitral bicuspid valve, they go into the left ventricle. The left ventricle squeezes and then goes into the aortic valve. And this is the aortic arch right here. And then it goes out into the body through the aorta, into the rest of the body, or up into the upper thorax, into the head. So here we go. We follow this deoxygenated blood cell entering into the right atrium, entering in through the tricuspid valve, entering into the right ventricle, leaving the right ventricle and going to the lungs. Once the red blood cell gets oxygenated, it goes back into the heart through the left pulmonary vein or the right pulmonary veins. Back into the left atrium, it fills up, enters into the left ventricle through the mitral valve, and then leaves once the left ventricle squeezes and into the aorta, into the rest of the body. So this is the process flow of the blood cell through the circulatory system and we've talked about the anatomy of the heart and the great vessels. Thank you.